Hey everyone, it's Mo Money the Barber. I'm going to show you how to do a self-cut. It's a drop fade with the chin strap. So, no further ado, here we go. So the first step, I just made a reference line with my trimmer. I used the Wahl detailers or the Wahl retro T-cuts. And at this point, I have the lever all the way open, the zero lever all the way open. Now I'm going to do this all the way around the head. As you can see, there's about a half an inch from the zero line into the open zero, which we'll just call it half. Now I'm going to do this all the way through. And once I get done with that, I'm going to go in the middle and to close up that gap between the zero and the open zero. So you want to go around the whole head, make sure you do them evenly. Be conscious about how much space you're leaving in between each guard. Now, I like holding the clipper like this because it just helps me to get that flick in my wrist. So this is the one guard we're doing at this point, and we're just going to bring that right above that half line, just enough to where you can see the difference. Now once we've done this on the whole head, we're going to open the one all the way and then do the same. We're repeating the same steps as we did for the zero with no guard. Now at this point we have the 1.5 guard. We're starting out with the guard all the way open. And then we're going to bring it down to all the way closed once we already have taken it with it open. Now it's okay to go at these lines at a diagonal, using only one corner of the blade. That also helps generate a fade. So you're just gonna pretty much adjust them to open and close until you get that smooth fade. Now I like to do this towards the end. Now I'm bridging the gap between my zero, my half, and my one. So that little space that we made originally, we're gonna go ahead and take that out. Now you could have done this right after you did the one guard, but I decided to do it this way this time. And you'll start to realize that the order you do things doesn't matter as much as long as you do all the steps. So in bridging the gap between the half and the one, you want to hold the clippers at a diagonal using the bottom corner, and you're still flicking out. Every stroke you're flicking out. It should be when doing a fade. As you can see, I'm using the bottom corner of my trimmer to help to get that line out, that zero line. You'll find different ways to hold the clippers which make it easier for you. but I usually like to hold the adjustment lever sturdy with one finger, whether it's a thumb or pointer finger, middle finger, whatever it is. And right here, I'm using that corner to help that fade come out. You might have to put the mirror down several times just to get get the right handle on the clippers or whatever, and that's fine. There there doesn't have to be a rush to cutting your own hair. I tend to like to freestyle, freehand a lot of my fades, but yeah, you'll figure out what's the best way for you to fade. Now when you're doing the edge, when you're starting off, I like to start off in the middle and work my way out. Um, that way I have, a good place to start with symmetry. Now I usually tend to work with the the better side first and then match it up to whichever side I feel like is further back. That way I don't have to push that side back anymore. Now you might have to grab that mirror for this part, the side part, to get that curve right. If you find it hard to hold the trimmers the way you feel like is normal, then by all means try some new things. Um, I learned how to cut my hair with that hand mirror, so I have no problems with that. It's definitely a skill you have to acquire just to be able to know what direction you're going in. I really like the retro T-cuts. For some reason, they just hit right. They're cheap. Well, I won't say cheap, but they are definitely affordable. So I highly recommend these trimmers. Now you want to make sure you don't dig in too much because these come pretty sharp, and you want to preserve and take care of your skin. That way you don't cut yourself. Now the touch-up work is very important. You want to go over your hairline just to make sure you didn't leave any stray hairs out. Look at everything from the front. That way you can make sure your head is straight when you're trying to make these straight lines. And doing your mustache, you want to make sure that right above the lip, it's even all the way around. That way you can have an even mustache. But you need some kind of reference line, a reference point in order to do that. Okay, there it goes. Drop fade. What do you think?